BIGME is not a new company. In fact, they were founded in 1927, selling address books and signature sheets. However, it wasn't until recently they started making the products we all know and like the Pomera. In 2008, the first Pomera keyboard came out, and since then there have been tons of iterations of this unit over the past 14 years. They have LCD versions, LED versions, and e-ink versions as well. The latest one is the cream of the crop. USB-C full-size keyboard, and it's in English. This is the Pomera DM-250 by BIGME. It's sturdy, well-built, and has a 24-hour continuous use battery. Its clamshell design ensures that both the keyboard never gets dirt or grime in it, and the screen itself is protected. It also has an SD card with a maximum capacity of an additional 32 gigs. To be honest, there's not much to this device, and that's a good thing. It's so simple. When you open it up, it instantly turns on, and it actually just gets going right away. Yes, this is a reflective LCD LED screen. It is not an e-paper screen, so you're going to see some reflection. There really is nothing you need to know about this to get started. You open it up. If it doesn't turn on, which it automatically should, you just press the power button. After that, you start typing. Now, I'm not the best typist, but you get the idea. That's all. The same keystrokes actually work as well, so you may not have numpads and extra additional things like a mouse and stuff like that, but you have a cursor all the same, and you can do things like Control-Alt, Control-C, Control-V to copy, etc. So you can definitely get the full use of an actual keyboard just with the memorizations of the keys. Now, you might be wondering about the keys. This, by default, is a Japanese keyboard product. However, it is in English, and they do have a USA keyboard layout. The keys themselves have some Japanese writing on them, because in Japan there is a mix of both the characters, which are called hiragana, and the characters of the Roman alphabet, which is called Romaji. So essentially there are a mix of both. You can use it normally, and everything is where you think it would be. So for example, that doesn't say at on the Shift 2, but if you press it, it'll be the at symbol because we're utilizing the USA layout. So muscle memory involved is just pretty standard. If you've used a keyboard before, you should be able to get used to this, no problem. Menu is where we're going to look at everything. If you go to File, you have things like New, Open, Save, Save As, Property, Close. That's very standard. That's very Microsoft Word-esque. Over here, you have Undo, Cut, Copy, Paste, Redo. That's all simple and easy as well. And this as well, which is the exact same as Control F, which is Find, Replace, Go to Line, Template Marker, Character palette. It's just as it kind of says. If you do template, there'll be a template. If you do timestamp, there'll be a timestamp. And you can choose the way it's written, date, time, year, with the month in between, whatever you'd like. Going back here, word list. You have word list, and these are words that you can add to your word list. It will start off with a bunch of dictionary Japanese words, but you can obviously add any word you want. Sub-dictionary. This is not going to be very useful because everything's going to be in Japanese, and we haven't been able to load in our own yet, so dictionary functionality is questionable. Tools, this is really cool. You can go to the dictionary there as well, or you can scan via QR code, and we'll show you a little bit later with the application. You have calendar, which is nice. So if you add something, for example, on the 5th, we have a party. So we wrote party on the 5th. You can go down to the 19th and say, Peter is here. Simple as that. Exit out, and it automatically saves it. It's just so fast. You can see right there, Peter is here. So the calendar works very well. Style. You can change it vertical, which we're not going to do because there's no reason to have this portrait. Absolutely not. The keyboard doesn't swivel, so there's no reason to have it in portrait mode, we feel. You can go to app connection, we'll show you in a second, and funnily enough, you can actually put this away from you and buy a Bluetooth keyboard and use that keyboard on this unit without having to use this keyboard. So they give you that option that if you have your favorite keyboard, you don't have to be stuck on this. You simply turn on Bluetooth and away you go. You just start using the keyboard. View, you have full screen outline, scenario comparison, partition. Partition is kind of silly because as you write on one side, the other side just does the exact same thing. It's not even split screen. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, but it's not very useful because, well, it just splits the screen in half and duplicates everything, so I'm not really sure of that. You have grid as well. You can do lines, which is very useful, or you can do an actual grid, which is just going to be a grid, and every character will fit in every single thing. So that's kind of cool. You have a couple templates. You have frame as well. If we go to frame right here, you can add a frame of however many characters you like. So if you choose 10, there'll be a frame right there of 10 at the top of the page. If you want to get rid of that, you simply just go back to frame, choose 0, and the frame is gone. A couple more things. You have line number. So as you're writing like this, Peter has a keyboard. You'll see that that is 4 lines, and as you press enter, there'll be more lines on the side. You can get rid of this at any time by just simply toggling off and on the line number. And finally, on the view, you have monochrome inversion, and everything's so quick. You can see that because this doesn't have a heavy operating system like a generic Android or an Apple or something like that, it doesn't really require much processing power to do anything. It's very DOS-y in the way where something happens and it just works. There you go. So you do have a black and white change, and everything's very instant. It's not e-ink. Once again, it's not e-paper, so you're not going to have that delay. You have some technical stuff for the technical crowd, and this will be the language that your computer can interpret. So for example, if you had Korean, you would have Hangul-KOR. If you have Polish characters, you might have POR, POL-IME. There's a bunch of stuff that it's just not really that useful to the average person, but if you did want to change that, the character settings and all that, you can do it. You can alter the cursor position, control character as well with tab marks, space marks. There's a lot of really technical things you can do here. And punctuation convert. You can automatically convert the punctuation from this to that, and you can add period, question mark, comma, and exclamation point to that as well. Settings is where you're gonna, when you get this, it's gonna be in Japanese, and it's not very hard to change it into English because all you would do is go like this, turn it on, go down to the only thing written in English is language, and choose English. Once you say, yes, I want to switch it, you can choose JIS, which is the Japanese input settings for the keyboard, or a US layout. If you do JIS, you can type in English, but things are going to be different. For example, the @ key will no longer be Shift 2. It's going to be in a different position. So I would recommend USA layout. Easiest possible thing to do. You can go over here to file management and scan the device memory and the SD card because it does have an SD card slot, which is really cool. You can also go down to format and format both the internal memory and the SD card. You can go to power management, do sleep timers. You can go to key settings as well, and it actually has an individual section and setting for USA layout. Out of all the countries and all the layouts in the world, this has the option to toggle between a US layout, enable, disable, or not. And there's that Bluetooth keyboard again. So from a menu perspective, that is pretty much every single thing you're going to find in the menu itself. But now we have to talk about the app. In terms of a connection between this and the actual device, this is one of the easiest apps we've ever used. It's called Pomera Link, and it's free from the Google Play Store. All you do is go to the app itself like that, and then you go to your keyboard. So this is so easy, I'm not even kidding. So as you see here, I wrote Peter has a keyboard. All you would do is go to menu, go to tools, click on QR code. The app automatically starts up with QR code. Hold it up to the QR code like that, and instantly it has Peter has a keyboard, which is the exact thing you have written on your screen. It is so flawlessly easy that it's not even something you have to think about. And then when you're on here, there it is right there. It saves it automatically. You don't have to click save. It's automatically saved, and you can go back and click on it like that. And from here, you can share it via PDF or send it to wherever you want via all the apps on your device like this. I can send it to the Good EREADER group. I can send it on Facebook. I can do anything I want. I can write something out to myself, email it to myself, and away you go. You don't need Wi-Fi or anything on here because it's a QR code. If I write something else and I say, and I am here right now. Yes, my typing is bad. If I go here and go to another QR code, I simply just click the camera again, point it at the screen, and there you go. It instantly wrote the additional things that I wrote on the Pomera. It says I am here right now, which is the exact same thing I wrote on the screen. It's a very good app. It's a very simple app, and everything will be in here. Everything will be filed in here, and it'll just be very simple for you to go in and out of this. We think the Pomera is simply amazing. The innovative constructions over the past 14 years, the build quality, and the amazing tactile feel of the keyboard makes us one of the best full-size digital typewriters you can buy on the market today. Simple and no distractions. If you want one, you can grab it from the store and we ship anywhere in the world. For GoodEreader.com, this is Peter.